How you doing? Welcome to Physics Online. This is a laboratory course based on the physics that is offered here at Kirtland. And we're just going to talk a little bit about the syllabus and who I am. I'm Phil Collins. I will be the instructor for the physics lab. Scott Cochran is the instructor for the physics lecture, both calculus and trig based. And so either one of us can answer your questions. Right now, I have my items listed on the syllabus. And so I have my office hours as being from Wednesday 9 to 10 p.m. on Web Studies live sessions. I can create conferences and you can talk to me live from those times. If the class decides that we need to have a different time, or if individuals come to me and say, hey, I would like to talk to you, we can perhaps move it to, say, Friday. I just want to be very cautious about the weekend because I do travel on the weekends and may not have high-speed internet access at those times. So Wednesday is my default day. After that, it's going to be kind of iffy. So just make sure that you can get there. If not, you can always email me and I can shoot you a quick video if you need to be. My email is listed above me. It's phil.collins@kirtland.edu. If you have any problems, that's the place to go. I usually get back to people within a few hours. I'm on my email almost constantly. But I give myself 24 hours. Okay, so it could take up to a day to hear back from me. So let's go ahead and go through a little bit of the syllabus here. And for the calc students, you will be writing formal lab reports with the exception of a few where you will be propagating error. Whenever you are requested to propagate error, you do not write necessarily a formal report. You can if you so choose. But you don't write a formal report, instead you fill out the laboratory form that the trigs will be using. And trigs, you will be required at during some labs to do some statistical analysis. These analyses can be done by hand, but they don't necessarily have to be because I need to be able to see that. And so if you do it by hand, you'll have to scan it or that sort of thing. We'll talk about that a little later. However, you will need access most likely to Microsoft Excel. Okay, either Microsoft Excel or graphing calculator, something that will do the best fit line or use the method of least squares to determine the statistical best fit line. The goals and objectives that are on the syllabus, you all can read through those. They just kind of describe what's expected and that sort of thing. The point values. Anytime that you are required to write a formal report, you will be given 150 points maximum for that particular assignment. Anytime that there is a write-up using the form, so it's the laboratory form report, that will be worth 100 points. Anytime you're working with the forms, you're simply just filling in the data that I need. You're not writing a formal paper on it. The formal lab reports are a formal paper. Okay, so the scheduled work week is from 12:01 a.m. Monday through 11:59 p.m. that following Sunday. Okay, that's the time frame in which I consider that. Any time within that, you can turn in that week's lab. If it's after the 11:59 p.m. on Sunday for that particular week, then it's considered late. And for each day that is late, then you get hit for 10 points on your lab on your lab grade. So it's very important to stay up on top of all of this. The scale, the grading scale, can be seen on that same page. The late policy, a write-up can be turned in any time, but you'll suffer 10% per day. This is traditionally like a 10 points out of 100. But for the formal reports, I will always also be taking only 10 points. So if for some reason you just can't get something done, or you completely forget about it and it's late so far back that there's no hope in getting any points, get me the data. If you can give me the data that you take, then I will give you 40 points for the data alone. So that you get credit for doing the experiment even if you don't do a write-up. It won't be enough to pass the course, but it'll be enough to save you from losing out huge. Last day of dropping this course is the 12th week of the semester. and no labs will be allowed after 12:59 p.m. Sunday. That starts finals week. You guys have, I believe it's 12 laboratories to cover in 15 weeks. And so you have plenty of time. Conduct. Now this is an online course, and so you are expected to I love this too, to use netiquette or the web-based etiquette. So don't treat anybody like you wouldn't want to be treated yourself. Make sure that you address everybody with respect. Even if their opinion differs from yours, it's fine, whatever. Still, you can understand even if you don't agree, and it's expected that you do. You may work with a partner. If you do, you need to write their names down on your lab report or your lab form so that I can know who they are. You will be taking the same data, so I would expect the data to be the same, unless you have a disagreement that you just can't run out. So if you do, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. The lab reports, however, and the formal write-ups must be your own. Okay, you can take the data and do the lab experiments together. The reports are done on your own. So be aware, I will be looking for that. Obviously you're not in a class, and so general attendance is kind of not really pointless, but it just doesn't seem to fit. But basically I kept the section of if you are missing and I find out that you just copied somebody's data, then obviously I'm gonna nail you there for A, for plagiarism, and B, I'm gonna nail you just simply because you cheated and used somebody else's work and didn't do the lab report yourself. Working with lab partners, I kind of covered that already. If you are caught cheating, and that is plagiarism or trying to pass somebody's information off as your own, the first is a 0, and then I will give you a warning on it. The second is automatic failure of the course. And lab schedules. This is a brand new course. We're developing it as we go, so we may change things up from time to time. If you run ahead, understand that the labs may change. They shouldn't change significantly, but we may find mistakes that for some reason didn't pan out, or ideas that look good on paper and they worked in the lab, but when we went to do it at home or something like that, it just for some reason didn't function well. We're still kind of playing with this. We've got all of our lab equipment here in the class, and so to get everything to work exactly the way it should at your home is going to be awful tough. On the next page here with financial aid, ethical conduct, plagiarism, and statement of compliance, these are general throughout all of Kirtland. They simply state if you fail your coursework or you don't show up or you never contact me, then financial aid could be affected. Ethical conduct, treat everybody as you would yourself or better, depending on some of us tend to beat the crap out of ourselves. So we should always treat others as better than we treat ourselves. And you always want to use honesty and respect whenever you're addressing anything scientific. Okay, ethics and science are a very big deal. And if you don't believe me, Google it. You'll probably find lots, especially in bioethics. I gave you some additional help, I consider it to be. Your expectations, and this is the last 2 pages of your syllabus here. Do not fall behind. If you fall behind, God help you. I went through this class in the classroom setting, this identical class, and I did fall behind, and it is almost impossible to catch up. You simply throw away a lab and eat the points, and then you have to go back and hopefully get the 40 points for the data. But it is so hard to fall behind and catch back up. Don't do it. Get them done. If you have any questions on anything, get them to me as soon as possible. Now, as I said that, then the very next thing I'm saying, okay, now here's a schedule that you could follow. You could follow, you don't have to, but I just thought, well, maybe you would like some kind of a guide. And so I write down Sunday, this is, so you're working on the next lab when the other one's due. All right, Sunday you read through the next lab. You write down any questions you might have. And then Monday you go through the lab. That way, if you have any questions, you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and possibly Sunday to get an answer out of those questions. So that can help you during the thing. But if you wait and you don't ask questions until Saturday, you might not get the answer you need in time. Remember, I get that 24 hours, that's built in. And so you need to be very, very cautious as far as how long you wait to ask a question. I will have videos for each lab. The videos will be primarily for the setup purposes of the lab. If you have questions on the run and how the run is supposed to look, I can make videos. It might take a while, so don't wait until like Wednesday and Thursday to say, oh, I need a video for this. I might not be able to do it. And so you're going to want to, because I don't have all of this stuff at home, you're going to want to get this to me, a request like that to me very, very quickly. Some technical requirements. I highly recommend a high-speed internet connection, at minimum a DSL line of at least 1 meg. I don't know what the college's requirements are on this. I recommend a 3 meg line, because if you're going to be watching videos, the videos are quite long, and streaming them can be a nightmare. If you insist on doing handwritten calculations, that sort of thing, and you don't want to put that into typewritten form in Word, then you need a scanner so that you can scan those in as a picture and send them to me as a JPEG or embed them in your lab report at the appropriate place. Be prepared to go back to your math classes. There's going to be some really strange, perhaps, things that you haven't seen before or haven't seen in so long that you've forgotten. And so you really want to make sure that you stay up on your math classes. I also mark in here some of the out-of-the-way techniques like law of sines and cosines, matrices, determinants, solutions of quadratic equations, that sort of thing. Things that you do like once and then your math classes and it like magically disappears and you never work with it again. You might find out that you do here. And in a certain degree of written communication is required. A technical writing course would be very helpful. I believe Kirtland requires it, but I'm unsure as to how that's going to translate in an online setting. I will certainly try to get everything back to you grade-wise within a week. That may or may not be the case at all times, but there seems to be a limited number of people in the course, and so that really shouldn't be a problem. I will have, and I encourage you to go out into the wonderful world of the internet and search for videos that might help you. I do have the capability to make a short video, and this is anywhere. I carry it with me. I have my laptop and I have the stylus pad, but I can't show you, say, for instance, the setup of the lab or the run, or an example run through on command. What I can do though is if you're stuck and you're like, oh, I can't for the life of me get this force diagram right. Oh, okay, well I can sit down and make a quick video on the force diagram, and then I can send that to you, and that's pretty easy to do. So don't be afraid to ask me to make those videos. If you have any questions on this, please email me. If you have any thoughts or concerns at all, email me quickly on the syllabus. That way I can get that cleared up before the class really gets going. Welcome.